ultimate super coach and fantasy sports show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Insight NBA show. Wednesdays are grit and grind, a weekly show previewing the games going forward and reviewing the games played today and helping you win your week. As always, we are brought here today by the Standard Squeeze, Ryan from Astute Newstead and Bonus Bank on the Supercoach Matrix. Guys, here on Grit and Grind, we are going to be covering the 6 games played today, including my squeeze of the day, previewing the games for tomorrow, and we're going to go through and talk through the highest transaction trends on Yahoo. So let's go through the games played today. Guys, as you might know, I'm a Grizzlies fan. So the first game we're going to tackle is the Grizzlies 106 taking care of the Spurs 98. Hasn't this Memphis Grizzlies team looked like a completely different team with Ja Morant back? Look, I'm going to tackle the Spurs first. Malachi Branham started, but did not play the bulk of the point guard minutes. We saw a little bit of Sohan playing 28 minutes, but we actually saw 25 minutes from Trey Jones. Didn't really take advantage of the minutes bump, but it is encouraging signs for those holding or those keeping an eye, or even him becoming a waiver wire option. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. The rebounds are good from him there. Keldon Johnson off the bench with 31 minutes. Only Devin Vassell played more minutes than Keldon Johnson. 31 minutes, 19 points, 3 turnovers, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists there from him. As mentioned, Devin Vassell, 34 minutes, 11 points. Didn't really take advantage there. And our boy Wemby, who we talk about every single week, 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Really big from him there. Not much impact from Sohan. Not much impact from Julian Champagny, who I'd been looking at as, at least in 20-man, I've been looking at him as a little bit of an option. I've even picked him up. Only the 22 minutes from there. Honestly, I'd probably rather go a Trey Jones, which you will see on your waiver wire in basically every league. Let's head into my Grizzlies. It wouldn't be a Grizzlies game if I didn't start talking about Ja Morant at the moment. 10 assists, 26 points, 1 steal. Looked electric out there. Desmond Bane took the most amount of shots for this team, as he was doing before Ja came back. 24 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists from him, 11 of 17 from the field. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a really interesting one this year. He hasn't been scoring that well, at a good clip, I suppose, but played 32 minutes. But those 3 steals and 4 blocks are definitely somebody that you love out of a second rounder there. Sandy Aldama, 28 minutes off the bench, 13 points, 11 rebounds. Look, Tillman didn't get off the bench. Derrick Rose played 9 minutes. Luke Kennard with 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. He's somebody that I picked up in some deeper leagues. And Williams Jr., somebody who we've all enjoyed watching in this period, but all the value has sort of come out with Marcus Smart being back and Ja Morant coming back in. 22 minutes, 8 points, and you wonder when his minutes are starting to drop. Let's have a look at some of the questions. Where's Matty G? Usually not around on a Wednesday night show. He'll be back tomorrow. And if we're looking at an upgrade on the Porzingis meal deal, the upsize is there. So let's look at Derek White there, or just take a water with your Zinger stacker box. Let's head into the next game, and we have the Bulls versus the 76ers. The Battle of the Bigs today. Andre Drummond, 11 points, 17 rebounds, still impressing there, and a triple-double from Joel Embiid. But let's start with the losing team. Drummond's still starting due to Vooch being out. Drummond played 28 minutes and has really just been taking advantage. Probably the poor thing that you see there is a negative 31 while he was out there, but Still, he's always been a tremendous fantasy player, and he proved that today. DeMar DeRozan with the 16 points, Kobe White with 14 points, couple of steals, a couple of assists there. But yeah, not too much to talk about. The Chicago Bulls were pretty ordinary today. We did see 7 assists from Dalen Terry there. Look, this has been his best game. 6.7 assists there, 21 minutes. Got the extended run because he was playing really well, but don't expect this every game from him. He got the 8 rebounds as well. Maybe one, it never hurts to keep an eye on guys, but I don't think that this will be a guy that we're targeting in the future. As mentioned, Joel Embiid, 31 points, 10 assists, 15 rebounds. Good to have him back. We had Maxey with 21 points. We had Kelly Oubre with 16 and Tobias Harris with 20. As we know, he can be a bit of a firecracker there. Really not much going on from the bench. DeAnthony Melton was injured today, so he did not play. Game time decision, so we really hope that he's back next game. But yeah, we probably saw the 14 minutes from Pat Beverly, which is plus minus was good. We know that he's good to be on your team, but just not to be good on your fantasy team. Realistically, that's how I feel about Pat Bev. Look, the Pelicans took care of the Nets. CJ McCollum, 16 and 6, and Day'Ron Sharpe, 12 points and 9 rebounds from Brooklyn were the highlights there. Dinwiddie was awful. I'd actually touted him as a bring-in candidate. But yeah, 5 assists, but absolutely nothing. 0 from 6 from the field. Mikal Bridges, ordinary as well. 4 of 11, 13, 3 and 2. Cam Johnson tried there. Shot 5 and 9 from 3, 6 from 12 from the field, and 17 points, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds. Day'Ron Sharpe off the bench was really good. Nick Claxton, apart from his 2 blocks, just the 8 points, 4 of 7 from the field. Look, I'm not sure whether there is a buy low opportunity on Zion Williamson. It's not what I've really liked seeing from Zion in the past. A bit of a disappointed owner, to be completely honest. 10 points, 5 assists today. Brandon Ingram, 12 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. 14 points from Herb Jones, 11 points and 12 rebounds from Jonas Valanciunas. CJ McCollum, as spoke about, the 16, 5 and 6. Larry Nance has been a popular in. Pretty happy with the 6, 8 and 2. Picked him up in some deeper formats. Really like the 2 steals from him and the 8 rebounds. Cody Zeller even went up and got a little bit of a run there as well. Let's go into the Celtics and the Thunder. And as is in the title, Kristaps Porzingis had an absolute rip snorter today, even in a Celtics loss. Kristaps Porzingis, 34 points, 3 blocks, and 10 rebounds. Exactly what you want from your big guy. 12 of 18 from the field in 35 minutes. Tatum, 30, 13 and 8. Flirted with a triple-double today. 19 points from Derek White, 15 from Jaylen Brown, but just not enough to get it done. Sam Hauser, as we know, can jack up a couple threes. He did that as well with a couple. And which is really nice. 7 points. Josh Giddey, really good. 23, 8 and 6 as the starting shooting guard for OKC. But as always, let's talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 36 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and I believe he should be in the MVP conversation at the moment. Jalen Williams, 16, 2 blocks, 3 steals. Chet Holmgren, 14, 4 and 7. That's 4 blocks. He's been really nice as well. Not much else to talk to or look at from the bench. A bit disappointed from Luguentz Dort as just one of those guys that you can plug and play. 9 points, 3 blocks, and 8 rebounds there. And of course, in the Thunder win, which that's a big win over the Celtics. The Thunder have been really good this year. The Warriors took care of the Magic, 36 points, from Steph Curry was the highlight, as well as 27 from Paolo Banchero. Had 12 rebounds, 6 assists, the block, and 2 steals, 8 of 20 from the field. Franz Wagner chipped in with 25 as well, 6, 3, and 2. Jalen Suggs with the 10, a bit disappointing as a holder in some of my leagues. Goga Badatse, 13, 7, and 4. Actually, I just got what you were saying, SMK in the chat. I'm playing you in one of the leagues, and you're mentioning if I can keep my big guy from the 76ers on the pond for the rest of the week. Joel Embiid was absolute fire. I think you're third in that league, and I'm only flirting with the top 8, so you're going really well, mate. But hopefully Joel Embiid can bring it home for me. The minute splits at centre has been a bit of a worry. Wendell Carter Jr., G was mentioning that he could be a drop. The stats today really did prove that, and how good Goga Badatse went. But the plus minus, Goga Badatse being minus 15 in a game where they only lost by 6, and Wendell Carter Jr. being plus 4. While not being good for fantasy, could definitely be good for the team. Wendell Carter Jr. getting more minutes. Popular ad, Cole Anthony, just the 8 points. And Mo Wagner, 16 minutes, 12 points. Just proves to be a point per minute beast there, really. The last game we're going to be talking about, and I've actually got a Hornets hat on. There was no beam to be lit when the Hornets played the Kings today. Terry Rozier took care of business, 34 points and 6 assists. And De'Aaron Fox with the 30 points and 6 assists. Played a very similar game today. Miles Bridges, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Nick Richards was good today with a couple of blocks, 10 rebounds and 7 points. We've got Caleb Martin there. We have McGowan starting. PJ Washington was good off the bench, 17 points, 4 rebounds and 4 assists as well, with the 1 steal. But not too much to look at from the Kings. Again, Sabonis just proves to be one of the best big men in the league. 23 and 19, 30 points from Fox. We had a Chris Duarte start, which is interesting, just to see how that went. 5-11 from the field, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. That could be something we see a little bit more in the future. Malik Monk off the bench, just the 6 points. Let's have a little bit of a look towards the games tomorrow.
He's heating up.
Guys, there's heaps of games on tomorrow, so we're not going to really delve in too deep into who you can add, because you should have, honestly, a really full roster for tomorrow. It's more planning, I suppose, for the Friday, where it's only the Bucks and the Spurs and the Nuggets and the Warriors. There's no back-to-backs there from those guys, but you should still really be looking at a pod. Jackson Davis from the Warriors, not a great deal to look at from the Nuggets. The Spurs actually like Trey Jones, and I'm beating the drum, but in 25 minutes today, that is something that you should be looking at. And Malik Beasley from the Bucks. So those are the games for the 5th of January. Friday. And you should be looking ahead. So maybe you can get some of those guys because you might not be fielding some of your guys on the big game days today on Thursday. Malik Beasley is one that you can get a back-to-back. Sorry, I was very wrong there. You can get a back-to-back on. The Bucks are playing the Pacers. So that should be good there. Hallie's been going really well as well. Look, I have been a bit disappointed in Mathurin. Naismith is one that you could look at there if you were really looking to add people. The Grizzlies, you could be looking at a Kennard. The Raptors, it's going to be really interesting to see the Schroeder quickly split as to who wins there. I think quickly starting with Scotty Barnes, more playing a traditional point guard, as traditional as a 6'8" point guard can be. And then Dennis Schroeder being that spark off the bench seems to be what I think is the best for the Raptors. I'm actually still interested to see how RJ Barrett went. He got 19 in his first game, and 9 rebounds as well. So flirted with a double-double. Look, rejuvenated, keen to be on his new team. It's going to be super interesting to see how that goes there. These previews are brought to us by Ryan at Astute Newstead. I know that he helped me out with my home loan, so get in contact. We can put you in touch with Ryan. It's an obligation-free finance quote to help see if your dream home or even just an investment property is something that's on your radar. He can get in touch with over 40 different lenders and do all the work for you and get you the best interest rate because interest rates are up at the moment. You've got to make it the most affordable that you can be. Helped me refinance as well. Equivalent to about a carton a week is what he saved me just by reaching out. I could better use that money and beer elsewhere. The Wizards versus the Cavs. Look, we still have Darius Garland out. Craig Porter Jr. Seems to be a good little ad there. I actually went and picked up, with Mobley being injured, went and picked up Jared Allen in the league. He's been really nice. Of course, Donovan Mitchell is looking to light it up. With the Wizards, of course, Denny Avdija proves to be a really good stream as well. Tyus Jones has found himself on the bench. He should be added in most formats at the moment in his current form. Interested to see how the Wizards can go after Kyle Kuzma's come out with a bit of smack talk, chatting about the Pistons in the last little bit, but the Wizards have nearly been just as bad. The Thunder on a back-to-back, playing the Hawks. Trae Young absolutely destroyed me at the end of last week. Had a fantastic game. Actually was back up for squeeze of the week. He's been averaging about 11 assists per game, making everybody better around him. But maybe Sadiq Bays or some blokes like that could get an extended run and play really well. Nets versus Rockets. Actually, I believe there to be very little puff in the Rockets. Anyone I'm interested in is already rostered in formats. And if you're a betting man, surely Spencer Dinwiddie can't be as bad as he was today. So if you find him dropped and you have a short waiver claim in your league, you could add him and just see how he goes. Was very poor today, but look, he can't be that bad the whole time. He's had a pretty good year, I think. And playing the Rockets, maybe against the smaller defender, he could in Freddie VanVleet, he might go really well in this one. Pelicans against the Timberwolves. I'm going to be looking to see how Zion bounces back in this one. Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, interesting ads there as well. Kyle Anderson is always an ad from the bench for the Timberwolves, but expecting the Timberwolves to take care of business there. Actually really like Mike Conley. I know that it could be the most boring pick in the world, getting a Mike Conley off your waivers, but just open up his stats, have a look. He's been doing this for years. The Bulls, Ayo Dosunmu went pretty well today, so he's my pick there from them. And the Knicks, mate, aren't we all excited to see how OG Anunoby goes? Played all right in his first game. Just looking for him to work his way back in. I think that your Brunsons and your Randalls are going to benefit with how good of a defender OG is as well. I think it's a really nice fit here for the Knicks, which are 18 and 15 for the year. I actually really hope that they improve on that. The Trailblazers versus the Mavericks. Ayton is still out. Look for the Great Barrier Reef. Do up Reef to get an extended run. He's been really great. He's probably been their best rookie. But Scoot Henderson has been gone really well in the last little bit. So keep an eye on him. I know how I have Jeremy Grant in some leagues. He's had a really quiet year. Good but quiet. Relatively efficient. But I think he plays better with Ayton out on the floor, to be completely honest. With the Mavericks, it's always interesting to see what they do at center. In some really deep formats, I've picked up Josh Green. Dante Exum has been really good, and I know I just sound like an absolute Aussie backing up, chatting about Do-Up Reith, Josh Green, and Dante Exum. But hey, they are the waiver wire pickups out of these guys. The Clippers versus the Suns. Kawhi Leonard came back next game. Last game, absolutely lit it up. And Bradley Beal's been playing really well, or played really well in his first game. It might be a little bit of a buy low for Bradley Beal. I know people have been waiting for Bradley Beal to come back, but they might just be so worried about how injured he's been throughout the start of the year that you might be able to get a little bit of value there. We have the Pistons versus the Jazz. Look, the Pistons have been an absolute shit fight. We know that. But look, there has been a bit of value in your Ivies and some guys like that. Cade Cunningham's had a really nice fantasy league so far this year. When we look at the Jazz, we of course look at Keontae George. Don Collins has been dropped in some leagues. His role seems to be diminishing. But yeah, look, it's something that could be looked at in the future. Fontecchio is one of the most added guys. He's been really good in the last little bit. Had 24 points in his last outing. Had 31 minutes in the game before, getting a lot of opportunity there as well, with 12 points and 7 rebounds. He's been good. He's been serviceable. I know it says that he's 190th ranked player, but earlier on in November, he was only playing, sporadically 4 and 10 minutes a game. Fontecchio's been really good. As we keep going down, the Heat versus the Lakers. Look, Anthony Davis has been really good. D'Lo, a little bit of a buy low candidate. Hasn't been fantastic in the last little stretch. But he is a really good player, and I do expect him to bounce back a little bit. And the Heat, they just have that next man up mentality. Whoever's out, the next man down. Just add him in your lineup as a stream, and they'll go really well. The Kings in a back-to-back. Kevin Huerter has been all right. Chris Duarte, if you need threes. And the Magic, roll the dice on those centers. Just see who gets it this week. Yesterday, it was Goga. The game before, it was Wendell Carter Jr. In some deeper formats. Even Mo Wagner's had a little bit of a resurgence, I suppose, there with 16 minutes. Let's have a look at some transaction trends.
Pull over by this hot guy and let me out.
The transaction trends today are brought to us by Bonus Bank. Our sponsor, Bonus Bank, is Australia's #1 match betting website. Match betting in Australia is Australia's most profitable side hustle. Take advantage of bookmaker bonus bets and promotion to make risk-free and tax-free income every week. With the help of all the tutorials, you can start making your first profit and finding edges like enhanced odds, sign-up bonuses, and money back. They just do all the work for you. You make your deposits, and you can even sometimes bet 2 betting agencies against each other. Learn how to earn bonus bets and convert them into cash easily with Bonus Bank. On average, Bonus Bank members are making $2,500 in the first couple of months. Low risk, risk-free. It's free to sign up, but if you decide to use the premium subscription, you'll get 25% off your first month if you use the promo code INSIGHT. All right, let's have a look at these transaction trends, and at the top of the list is Fontecchio. 1,400 people are adding him, and I understand why after having a really good game in the last one, playing 31 minutes in the game before, even if it wasn't elite, and then just bumps up from those 20, 23, and 14 minutes he was getting in the games before. Look, the Utah Jazz are looking for anything that works, and if Fontecchio is the guy, he'll be getting the minutes. Luke Kennard, another one, somebody that I've added in some leagues. 12 and 17 in 20 minutes in his first 2 games. Chips in with a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists. Very rarely gets a turnover as well. He's working his way into the team. I don't see a really high ceiling for Kennard. Just a little bit of firecracker that streams 3 sort of bloke. But in deeper formats, he's somebody that I could see myself holding for the rest of the year, because I do think that 15 to 20 points a game is very achievable from him. Benedict Mathurin, on the back of 25-point games, he scored over 10 points in his last 4 games. I definitely understand why he is becoming more and more rostered. Had 13 rebounds in the last game, but I see that to be a little bit of an outlier. Benedict Mathurin, ladies and gents, on the back of a back-to-back. Goga Bitadze, after shooting 6 from 6 today and getting the start with 26 minutes. I understand why people are adding him. I do also feel like it's a roll of the dice there. We're going to go into some of the guys that are dropping, and look, Cody Martin from Charlotte. People got excited about him coming back, and of course playing some basketball. It just hasn't worked out. Even in 32 minutes, he's not really a stat stuffer or anything like that. He's in the starting 5 at the moment. But yeah, look, I don't see any value there in Cody Martin. People added him, tried it, they're dropping him now. with the return of Joel Embiid, Paul Reed, of course, is droppable in all formats. Herb Jones has added. He was good in the last one, 13 and 14 points actually in the last two. He's been getting north of 30 minutes in some of his games as well. The opportunities there, he's available in most of your leagues. The 111th ranked player is only 57% rostered. So if you go 140 deep, hey, Herb Jones is one guy that you could add. Reggie Jackson is being added as well. He's been pretty good all year, really. Had 15 in the last one. But just keep in mind, probably a deeper format guy. He only sort of plays up to 20 minutes most nights due to the fact that really he only plays point guard and Jamal Murray's just a lot better than him. Brandon Miller is injured, so I'm seeing him dropped a little bit. That's bumped to some of those... Martin has been added. Miller's been pretty good. I've been happy with him, 56% rostered. Look, he's probably expendable in smaller formats, but it's just a short-term injury. You should be able to hold him through that. The last one I'm going to talk about is Chris Duarte. 349 people are adding him. In the last 3 games, he has got north of 25 minutes. His last game was his best one. Look, we know he's going to shoot the ball. Not a bad shooter. I really hope it works out in Sacramento, but I will not be rushing to add him. Look, that just about wraps up the Insight Show today. Thank you very much for popping on. I know it's a lot of chat from me when we have a look at this, but yeah, thanks for popping on, and you've listened to an Insight Fantasy Sports podcast. Cheerio.